Let's say you're in the market for one of the highly popular 5-passenger crossovers, but with the economy sucking wind, you've got champagne tastes on a beer budget. This is the all-new 2010 Audi Q5. If you're on a champagne budget at $45,000, this is one of the cars to get. And this, well, that's a 2010 Jeep Patriot. At $30,000, it's a whopping $15,000 less than the Audi Q5. And it certainly falls in line much more with a beer budget. Both cars will carry 5 passengers and their stuff in comfort. Both cars are 4-wheel drive or all-wheel drive, and both cars basically will get the job done. So let's see what the extra $15,000 gets you in the Audi. In one word, style. The Audi's like a hand-tailored suit that makes you look and feel like you've just won the $1 million lottery. The interior is an exquisite combination of plastic and wood and of course leather. Too bad they designed such a complicated secondary control system. And get this, they put the volume control lever for the radio right next to the gear shift selector. You may get a really refined interior in the Q5, but you certainly don't get a lot of legroom, at least not in the back. In the front, you know, where it counts, you do get an extra 2 cylinders and about 100 more horsepower. Behind the wheel, the Audi feels a lot more expensive, which of course it is. It feels like it's forged from one piece of solid metal, which of course it isn't. Unlike the Jeep, which feels, well, it feels like it's put together from a whole bunch of pieces of metal, which it is. But why don't I let the car speak for itself? Just listen to this engine note when I step on the gas. But while that engine note may sound great, I got a surprisingly leisurely 0 to 60 time of just over 8 seconds at altitude, which is surprisingly slow for a car with 270 horsepower. And just like the Audi, the Jeep has leather interior, a fancy electronic system including navigation, so perhaps the difference is in how they drive. One of the first things you notice when switching from the Audi to the Jeep is just how silky smooth the Audi's 3.2-liter V6 engine is. Compared to the Audi's engine, the Jeep's engine, well, it quite frankly sounds like a tractor. Listen. But once again, you be the judge. I'll just let the car speak for itself. The reason for the tractor-like engine sound, I suspect it may be the CVT, continuously varying transmission. It may be great on gas mileage, but it does nothing for the engine note. Once you get behind the wheel of the Patriot, you know, it drives surprisingly well. It's not as connected to the road as the Audi, but it's not a goat on ice that you think an off-road vehicle like this could be. In fact, the Jeep drives and rides like a, dare I say it, a non-trail rated sedan. Unlike the Audi's somewhat convoluted and somewhat complicated user interface, the Jeep's, well, it's pretty straightforward. You just touch what you want, and you get what you want. Of course, a bottle of champagne may be hard to open, but once you pop the cork, it's usually well worth it. On the other hand, the Jeep's interior may not be as refined, fancy, pick your word, but, at least in the back, it has plenty of legroom for somebody who's 6 feet and taller. I have to admit there's a brawny honesty and a straightforwardness to the Jeep that's hard to fault, especially when it's compared directly to the much more fancier and feature-filled Audi.